Hello everyone, welcome to this week's I've Been Playing. Today we are taking a quick look at the game Goosebumps Dead of Night, or possibly Goosebumps at Dead of Night, I'm not entirely sure. In either case, this is a survival game that is very short, and is, as you can probably guess, based off of Goosebumps, specifically the Goosebumps movie. And/or movies. I mean, there's a Jack Black in it and everything. And by survival game, I mean one of those things kind of like, the one that comes immediately to mind is Emily Wants to Play, or those kinds of things where you have multiple monsters stalking you that have different ways of killing you, and you have to avoid them, and eventually there are so many of them that it's kind of annoying. As you can probably guess from that, I don't play many survival games because of that mechanic. Now, like I said, this does at least loosely follow the plot of I think the first Goosebumps movie. It's been a little while since I've watched them, and I don't even remember if I've seen the second one. But it follows that in that Slappy has gotten out of his book and is trying to take over the world with evil Goosebumps monsters. So you'll see a lot of your favorites, and of course Slappy is there because Slappy is always there for some reason. Also, R.L. Stine, aka Jack Black, has been sucked into a typewriter and can't really do anything himself, so you have to save him and the world. My main question about this plot is, why the heck am I in R.L. Stine's house? But I suppose that's not important. It's a survival game, I have to be there, and it is technically a kid's game, which also means it's quite short as long as you can get through it. And I say as long as you can get through it, it's not particularly difficult to do, but there is one part that I did get stuck. There are a couple of boss fights throughout the game, and there's one in particular, the earliest one, because it's divided into 3 chapters, and the first and the last one have a boss fight, the second one, not so much. But I had a heck of a time with the first one, just because the controls are a little bit sluggish. Now, I was playing this on my Switch. It's also available on, I think, all the other consoles, and on PC as well, I'm pretty sure. Double check that if you are interested in getting this game. But the sensitivity was all the way up, and it still didn't feel like I wanted to turn. And also, I have the stamina of a slug in-game. Also real life, but that's not important. So even though these boss fights and just the general survival mechanics of, hiding from the monsters or trying to avoid the monsters or doing whatever it was with the monsters that you're supposed to do with them to keep them from killing you, it still felt like a bit of a chore. It wasn't majorly difficult, and it wasn't a very long game. I'd say if you can get through it without any problems, it's no more than maybe an hour and a half. And I think it only took me 2.5 to 3. It was not very long at all. But even so, the difficulty the controls gave me made me not want to finish. That isn't to say it's not good. It is a fun little kids game, and I feel like survival games are more of a recent thing of this sort, so I feel like maybe that's why it's more aimed at survival games, and a lot of those are at least games that kids watch famous people play a lot. I'm thinking like Emily Wants to Play and that one with the weird-looking monkey. So obviously the Goosebumps overlay is meant to entice them. And it's cute, it's fun, it has a lot of the favorite Goosebumps monsters in it. Well, it has a lot of references to Goosebumps books, and then some of the monsters that you might recognize. It's been a little while since I've read my collection of Goosebumps. I know the major ones. I do want to read them again this month, but that's an aside, that's not important. But it is a little simplistic, both story-wise, it's just kind of like, ooh, Slappy's at it again! And just mechanic-wise, there's not a lot to do. You're just going around, you're collecting stuff, you're avoiding stuff, you're zapping stuff. It has the rule of 3s in the boss fights, I should say. But as long as, I wasn't fighting the controls, which I was doing moderately often. As I said, mostly not one boss fight. Most of the rest of the game I got through pretty quickly. It was that first boss fight-ish thing that caused me major problems, because it was just windy and mazy, and it was hard to turn, and things were attacking me from everywhere, and it was more difficult than that part needed to be. But in general, it was fun. I can see kids having a lot of fun with it. It's not my type of game, so I think that's probably part of why I got annoyed with it, more than anything else. I don't play survival games very much. I don't normally find them fun, because it gets to a point where there are so many things chasing you, or so many things you have to avoid, or a little bit of both, that I get tired of it. It's just an annoyance more than it even is like a threat. It's just annoying. Like, I have things to accomplish. Get out of my way. But like I said, it's not that long. It's pretty fun. I don't know how much it costs, but and it depends on whether you're going to replay it or not. I don't know that there's any replay value in it, unless maybe you're searching for achievements or something on, obviously not the Switch. I imagine they're probably pretty easy to collect, so if you're one of those types of people, it's probably a pretty simple game to do that in. But in other terms, like, I don't think there are any secrets or anything, so there's not a lot of replayability unless maybe, I don't know, you have multiple kids who are into Goosebumps or something. It's just kind of what you see is what you get. Once you go through the game, you're done. And I think that's all I have to say about this Goosebumps game. Have you played it? Will you look into it? Or are you not a survival game person either? Because I don't get the appeal personally, but I tried it out, I did it, I got through it. There you go. If you enjoyed this, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I do one of these every Monday, and I do a whole bunch of other stuff on my channel. Right now it's all Halloween stuff, but I do a whole bunch of other stuff as well you can check out. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time!